Hello and welcome. Today we're taking a look at my first FTK deck. Well, this is not actually my first FTK deck, I have played others, but this is the first one for this series. Without further ado, let's get into the actual deck. Here it is, Batteryman. Yeah, this is a good one. There's not that many particular sets you can run with Batteryman. You basically have to go for the OTK. I guess there are technically others, but it's the most efficient one for them, since it's the whole point of the deck. Big damage, just prevent your opponent from doing stuff and do big damage. Yeah, so here it is. This is my version of it. You can run a bit of different set with these, obviously. I actually forgot to mention in the Zark video, where I don't actually try and make these meta relevant. I kind of want to just a bit more casual way of playing the deck, I guess, like trying to stick into an archetype and not really think of like overly consistent. Again, you want to play it, you want to try and at least win with it, that's kind of the idea of the deck, but you don't really need to worry about big money cards, or except this technically has 2 money cards in it, but you don't really need to worry about that stuff. You can just get the archetypal cards and then go for it. Actually, the Zark deck is... Actually, no, the Zark or the Red Eyes deck, I'm not sure which one would actually be more expensive. Right now, I think it's the Red Eyes, but Zark technically was more expensive. I don't know. It's kind of a hard one to go for. So let's start with what we actually have in the deck. We're playing 2 Batteryman Industrial Strength. For each it's a special summon, and it again is just field clearing, and it lets you do damage because it's a special summon condition. Fuel Cell again for field removal, and such an easy special summon condition. This is like to point of ridiculousness. Just control 2 Batteryman and blah. Charger for, again, not necessarily field clearing, but it allows you to special summon any Batteryman monster from your hand or deck. It gains 300 attack and defense for each Sun type monster, so it gets surprisingly big. Even though it's 1 tribute monster for 180, it's pretty good. Thunder Seahorse for searching the upcoming monster. Honest for added defense for your turn if you have to play, I don't know, something in attack mode, or if you don't manage OTK, or if they still have a monster you can't get over, swing with Honest, do damage, then win. Batteryman 9 volt. Actually, Honest is a good for, since you often end up... We get to 9 volt soon. Honest is actually pretty good for if you manage to clear your opponent's field, attack, and they get on Gores on the field, then Honest is a good way to get rid of the token. Yeah, 9 volt for basically being your primary playmaker. Like your secondary playmaker's whole point is to get into 9 volt. Battle Fader for protection. Again, you could play something else here, but I decided just go for the classics. Since it ends the battle phase, it just prevents your opponent from attacking. Micro Cell, again, it's for special summoning 9 volt, and if it gets killed while it special summons, you get to draw. Sword Circuit for... it's basically an archetypal field remover, but if you control 3 face-up Batteryman, destroy cards your opponent controls. And getting into 3 face-up Batteryman is really easy. Actually, getting the Short Circuit is much harder, but if you have it in your hand and you manage to make the field, you can clear your opponent. And again, without like Gores or Dragodia or something like that, they're pretty much done. Battery Charger for added field swarming, pay like 500 life points, special summon Batteryman for the graveyard. Simple as that. And since 9 volt triggers from being summoned, it's pretty good, and it's not once per turn. Like, those are... Yes, it actually is. Sorry, I am an idiot. It is once per turn. Upset Goblin, just for added draw. MST for back row removal. You could play Twin Twister, but I think MST is a bit better because you don't need to discard anything for it. Although you could easily feel Industrial Strength's summoning condition with it, but I thought MST was just better since you only need mostly singular removal. Quick Charger if you get shit in the grave. For example, if you use Fuel Cell's effect, send another Fuel Cell, you have like Micro Cell in the grave, use this to get the Fuel Cell back, special summon into the field. Trap Stun to prevent opponent's back row if you can't get rid of it. Bottom is to slow down your opponent, especially if you're playing a Pendulum deck, this will pretty much win you the match. Storming Mirror Force, again, this is, I guess, the big money card of the deck, just to get rid of opponent's monster. Mirror Force is a bit risky since you already destroy a lot of stuff, and a lot of decks float, but this returns it to the deck, back to the hand, not deck. That's, I think it's the Water Mirror Force, or something like that. 3 Magic Cylinders, my personal favorite trap. It targets, so it's not as good. You could replace this with something else, but I just felt like it makes the OTK a bit easier because you can do some chip damage with this, and again, prevent your opponent from damage. Waboku is actually a decent replacement for these if you don't feel like running them. Two portable battery packs, again, the special summon Batteryman. If you manage to set this turn 1, make your field, send something to grave, use this to bring it back, and again, go for more damage. And Solemn Warning. This you might actually want to change it into Solemn Strike, because it's getting a reprint, a cheap reprint actually from the God of Duelist Special Edition, so yeah, you might want to switch this into that. So yeah, here's the deck, and let's get to see again what kind of duels I have. And go! There were the duels. Again, they worked pretty good. Again, unfortunately, only 2 duels, and I'm probably gonna stick to that because it's so difficult to record in Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. It keeps crashing constantly. But yeah, there you go. You saw it worked. It's a very good deck. Again, you could improve on it, make it a bit more consistent. Although Batterymen are kind of difficult to make a more consistent deck, but you could play better options. Like you could replace this with what is it? It's the Speedroid hand trap that puts all your opponent's monster to defense. Against Lynx, though, it doesn't really work. You could replace these with something. You could put Solemn Strikes in place of Warning, although Warning is pretty good too. These, I technically could play something else. I don't know. You could improve it on however you feel like it, but I think this is a pretty good one. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I see you guys next time. Bye-bye.